Hey guys, got a question for you. Did you know that most garage doors, when they're installed just to work, kind of okay. They're not really optimized. What do I mean by that? Well, these guys are often too small. And you do know that these springs are what do the work and open the door, right? It's not the actual opener. These are the brawn. The opener's kind of the brain. Boom! Through the zone. Okay, cool. So what are you getting at, Adam? Well, I just replaced the springs on this door behind me. This is a 5-year-old spring. It's not broken, but it's definitely worn out. And I upgraded them too. You can do that. And I want to be clear. These springs were not too small to open and close this door the day they were installed. But long term, these are too small. You're going to get some life out of these, but man, not the life you want. And this door's heavy. These guys ain't going to cut it. Let me show you how I found my issue. So if you've been with the channel, you know not too long ago I installed the green hinge system, which keeps the door pressed forward against the seal, helping seal up the gaps here in the wintertime. As part of that, I manually released the opener and was opening and closing the door, just testing for functionality, and noticed that this door seemed pretty heavy. What do I mean by feeling heavy? Let me go pull the ripcord and show you. By heavy, I meant that the door would not stay where I put it. It wouldn't stay right here. It wouldn't stay right here. It'd get right here and want to come crashing down. That's how you know your springs are worn out. Now, there is an option there. The springs are just tension pushing against this door to bring it up. So I thought, I'll add some turns. And if you have a set of winding bars and you trust yourself enough, you can add tension to your springs yourself. I've done it many times before. The problem is that these springs are all the way turned out. There was no more to go. I tried to add a turn and the spring had been fully extended. So the fact that I couldn't add more turns, i.e. more tension, and the door would not sit where I wanted it to, it'd want to come crashing down, instantly told me that my springs were worn out. They hadn't shattered. You know, you've seen them before where they'll crack and there'll be two pieces on the bar. That wasn't the case. Actually, that's the case. Ain't she pretty? Something else that may help you figure out whether your door is feeling heavy or not is just listen to your opener. If this thing is closing and you hear the motor on your opener being overdriven, you know what that sounds, right? Where it's kind of like whining faster than you normally would. That's another sign your door's feeling heavy. All right, cool, Adam. So now I know that I have some junk springs. What next? Well, there's two options. You can call a professional company local to you, have them come fix it. Unless you ask specifically though, they're probably going to put a similar size spring back on. And I can guarantee that their solution is going to be way more expensive than what I'm going to show you and doing it yourself. So that's option one, call somebody. Option two is to try to figure out what size spring you need to have more life. This door behind me goes up and down more than your average door. My wife has a job where she's in and out of the house a lot. This is our primary door. This thing's up and down. So 5 years in, I'm not surprised these springs are worn out. And these are kind of the builder grade model springs. You can get bigger ones, which is what I did. To put it into terms that gearheads like myself understand, we are essentially going for a bigger motor and we're going to run it at lower RPMs. So now real quick, I want to show you guys the bigger motor and then I'll show you how to figure out what you need. It's not really a bigger motor, by the way. It's a bigger spring. So here is the old spring. Let's see if I can't climb the ladder with it. I'll line up the butts of them there. There's the old spring. There's a new spring. It's about 18 inches longer. Same wire diameter, but 18 inches longer. You got two of them. This is a 10,000 cycle spring. I think this is like a 33,000 cycle spring. In effect, tripling the life. So if we got 5 years out of this, this is 15. Or if you didn't use this door very much and you got 7 to 10, like some people do, this could be almost a 40-year spring. And I added an additional stabilizer there. Ooh, about stepped off the ladder without taking that down. That'd have felt good later. Okay, cool. So I know that a bigger spring is an option. How do I figure out what I need to get? There's a handful of pieces of information you need about a spring like this in order to figure out what kind of spring you need. So you need to know the wire size. You need to know the diameter of your cone here. You need to know the relaxed length, the wind direction, whether it's a left or a right wind. All these pieces of information. I'm not going to go into all the detail about those specs, but I'm going to point you to a website that is going to be tremendously helpful. It helped me figure out what my baseline springs were, and then also figured out how to upsize them. The company is DDM Garage Doors. I'm going to link them down below in the description, and I'll probably put a comment there for you too. I am not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but man, they have some incredible videos and great calculators about how to figure out what springs you need, and I'm going to show you a couple other pointers that may help you as well. So if you're fortunate enough to have a newer garage door, go out to your garage and check the outside track or somewhere along the outside and look for some detail about your build. Now, I'm not going to show you this because I don't want my information being public, but on the side here, it has the name of the company that put our garage door in. It has the track length. It tells you the track size, a couple other little specs, you know, the overall door size, 8 feet tall, 18 feet wide, etc. And ours is lucky enough to have a QR code. Now, if I scan this QR code, it takes me to the door manufacturer's website and has a specific job build for my garage door. It tells me the track radius, the weight of the door, which I believe is like 378 pounds. It's pretty heavy. The specs I just told you, the build sheet about how the tracks all go together, all the fittings. It's basically a parts diagram blown up. It tells you the exact spring size that you need, or what was on here originally, the number of turns it takes to balance the door properly, etc. So if you're lucky enough, you may have that information. Check your door. If you don't have a QR code, all hope is not lost. I told my buddy Chris about this, and he went out and looked in his garage. He did not have a QR code, but was still able to contact the manufacturer and get all the specs we just talked about. That can be tremendously helpful, especially knowing your door weight when you're trying to upsize your springs. So I know I typically will show you guys a build of something from start to finish. I'm opting not to do that in this video because I'm not a garage door expert. However, the guys at DDM Garage Doors are. I'm not kidding you when I tell you they have a video for everything, and they're super methodical. They'll tell you how to measure the spring. They'll tell you how to take this spring off. They will tell you how to reinstall this spring along with other items. They will tell you how to measure a broken spring. They'll tell you how to upsize their spring. You got calculators on there. You can find a spring based upon the manufacturer of your door, the model of your door, the weight. You can use the old springs. There's just so many calculators on there, and their videos are so in-depth that if I even tried to replicate it, it would be a waste of my time. So check them out. They have more than enough information. That's what I watched whenever I was going through installing these, measuring these, etc. Again, if this is something you're not comfortable doing, please don't try it. It's not that hard. These aren't that complex, but they do hold a ton of energy. And if this energy unspools on you and you're not ready, it'll be extremely dangerous. Be careful. Also, another option would be to check out DDM, figure out what springs you're going to upsize to, and then call your local company and see if they would just install those springs if you bought them, or ask them what, you know, their 30,000 cycle springs would cost you. I can tell you that these giant 30,000 plus cycle springs that I have in this door now, a pair of them plus the 2 stabilizers at the ends was under $350 shipped to my house. That includes $20 of tax and about $50 of shipping, because these are not light, especially those big boys. So for 350 bucks to have a 15-year spring now and save that opener, because openers are pretty pricey these days, I'll take it. I'm happy with the results. This door over here doesn't get near as much use, and I think we'll probably hold off on that for a while, but I'll continue to check and see how it's balanced. Another thought I had too, I haven't checked the size of these. These might work in my barn. My barn door is just aluminum, no insulation, doesn't weigh very much at all. So perhaps there's enough life in these to put about there. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. If you have a garage door that's kind of on the fritz, DDM Garage Doors, I was extremely excited when I found their website. Again, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but I was just really excited to find a website that was so thorough and helpful for a homeowner to get the springs that he wanted and improve my setup. So if it's helpful, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. Finish my CrossFit workout here for the day.